In a quiet, dusty village nestled between dry farmlands and slow-rolling hills, there lived a man named Ram. At first glance, there wasn't much remarkable about him. He was thin, sun-darkened, always seen in the same old shirt he'd worn for years. He rarely spoke, never joined the chai-sipping uncles chatting at the local stall, but every single morning, without missing a day, Ram picked up his rusted pickaxe, slung it over his shoulder, and walked toward the mountain. Not the small hill by the pond, and not the temple slope. The big mountain. The one that seemed to slice the land in half, so vast and steep even birds chose to fly around it, not over it. Jagged. Silent. Ancient. Ram would reach its base and begin his work. Thack. 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 That rhythmic sound became part of the village's mornings. Children would giggle and imitate him. "There goes Mountain Uncle," they'd say. Shopkeepers joked, "He's digging his own grave." Still, Ram kept at it, under the burning sun that left his skin blistered, through rain that turned the earth to sludge. One swing after another, like a man with no other path left. Some called him mad, but they didn't know why he did it. Years ago, Ram's beloved wife, Sweet Mina, had gone into labor. Complications arose. The only hospital was beyond the mountain, and the single road wrapped around it, a journey of nearly 3 hours. She passed away halfway there. That night, Ram sat before the mountain, staring up at it with hollow eyes. He cried, he shouted, "You took her from me." The next morning, he sharpened his pickaxe and walked back to that very mountain. Everyone thought it was just grief, something he'd move past. A few days, maybe weeks, but days turned to months, months into years. In the beginning, nothing changed. The stone stood tall, unbothered. But slowly, tiny pieces broke off. A crack appeared, then a narrow trail. People started noticing. One curious boy once asked, "Uncle, what are you doing?" Ram wiped his brow and replied, "Making sure no one else has to lose someone like I did." The boy didn't quite get it, but he didn't laugh anymore. Years passed. The seasons changed. Ram grew older. His hands grew coarse, his back bent lower, but his pickaxe never stopped swinging. Sometimes he worked alone. Sometimes a child would join him. Sometimes a stranger offered him fruit and asked, "Why not use a machine?" He'd smile. Machines can't fix what hearts ignore. One day, a journalist from the city arrived, took pictures, asked, "Aren't you angry? At the government? At destiny?" Ram gazed at the sky and said, "Why yell at the clouds? Better to build shelter." His story spread. Radio shows, newspapers, online articles. The man moving a mountain. But Ram didn't care for attention. He cared about the road. 17 years later, tragedy struck again. A tractor transporting bricks tipped on the winding road. The driver didn't survive. That evening, villagers came to Ram, tools in hand. No speeches, no apologies, just this: "We were wrong, let us help." And they did. Young, old, women, even kids on school holidays. They stood beside him, breaking stone, sweating under the sun. In the 22nd year, it was done. A narrow road carved right through the mountain. Wide enough for an ambulance, smooth enough for bullock carts, safe enough for bare feet. There was no grand celebration. Ram wouldn't have wanted it. But one evening, an ambulance rolled down the path. Inside, a woman in labor. Hours later, a baby girl was born. They named her Mina. Ram didn't speak. He just stood under a tree, gazing at the mountain, eyes glistening. Someone asked, "Uncle, how did you manage this?" "You actually moved a mountain." He smiled. "No," he said. "The mountain just gave up before I did.